So yeah, this is just why did Canada suddenly lose momentum and become so poor, indebted, and unproductive compared to other advanced economies? The past several years of 70s style leftist liberal NDP policies have been slowly killing Canadian prosperity, security, and quality of life on almost every key metric. So, I mean, I don't want to like make this political. It's hard, like, because I don't want to make it political because I'm not sure that things are going to get better. I mean, we might be just past that point, but there's uncontrolled. Here, I'll just say there's uncompetitive taxes that kill the incentives, uncontrolled debt spending. Under Freeland, it's now costing this record debt is now costing $54 billion in interest. Oh my God, it's about to get much worse. So, an obese bureaucracy to administer big government fairness policies. That's true. I mean, we've talked about that a lot. The bureaucracy is 70% more expensive than 2015. I mean, that's huge, right? 70% more expensive than 2015. So I just wanted to get to some of these sort of visuals here because this is, remember you were talking about matching the Canadian economy and all that, right? So here's the Canadian and US economy parting ways after decades of parallels. So you see the parallel sort of thing here, right? Right around 2015 there, the yellow, which is Canada, drops down. It starts going like this. So it's still got that same shape kind of, but the US kind of still trends up and then it goes down and then look at Canada. It goes down and then it towards the end where we're really feeling it here, 22, 23, 24, it drops down quite a bit.
So that's not COVID. That dump isn't COVID.
The dump is COVID. Yeah, that dump is COVID. Yeah. But I mean, it's this gap here. That's like, look at how big the gap is here now, right? And I mean, it went all this way since 91, right? And then the gap has gone to like this now.
Yeah, dude. And so I'm still maintaining that tax and energy is our biggest fucking problem.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. And then, well, I mean, geez, we didn't even talk about the
carbon tax. There's a bunch of carbon tax. They also snuck over the last since they've been sneaking in a bunch of gas taxes on diesel.
Yeah.
So now it's just on everything. So you're tax on tax on tax on tax.
Now, is that part of the inflation that they talk about? Like when the Bank of Canada announcement today, they talked about they were talking about inflation being the 2%, their 2% goal. Why is that? Why is their goal 2%?
2%, because if they get 2% every month, then it's only 2% per year, which is what we can, I guess. I mean, I don't know how they're creating the money, but that's sort of just keeps things on a level that is deemed
as manageable somewhat. Like they're saying, like 2% is a manageable level of inflation. So is all these extra taxes that you're talking about on fuel and all, is that part of inflation? Like when all those costs go up to us, does that get calculated?
It depends who you ask. That's becomes a portion. They say no.
Really? That's weird. So that's why I don't like those measurements, because it doesn't match reality, right? This 2% thing. I mean, and what? Anyways, let me get back to this here. I just don't know enough about all that. It just drives me bonkers still.
But inflation is going to go up now. You watch, because the prices on everything are going to go up a little bit now because our dollar's going to go down. So it's going to cost more to import the 85% of our goods that come from the States.
Well, here's I mean, and we don't want to be all negative, but I mean, this is just like stuff. I don't know. I try not to be negative, but here's household debt levels as a share of the country's GDP. So here's Canada, right, leading the fucking pack here.
Well, I mean, I don't get negative because I don't have any debt, really. You know?
No, I'm just talking about just in general, the show in general, because there's so much negative stuff about Canada right now. It's hard not to be, but I mean, you know. So here's Canada, UK, US, Japan, France, Germany, and Italy.
It's right for collapse. It's good.
Household debt. Yeah, it's definitely. Number of violent crimes in Canada from 2001. So I mean, look at this skyrocket up here, and that's not even including 2023 or 2024. So look at back and look at it going down. It's hard to believe, eh? Went from 450 down to 375, and then just started skyrocketing around 2015. Change in real GDP. Canada's down here at minus. The minuses. So yeah, they're calling it the lost decade. You know, I don't want to read through all that verbiage, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting to see that. And then there's these other changes here. I'll just show. I might as well show this at the same time. This is kind of more from. This is kind of about. It's a good Substack here. Our Greater Destiny blog. They're talking about this Randy Hillier meetup and all that, but they're saying that Canada by the numbers, and there's some solutions at the bottom here. I think I'll talk about later in the second half, but Canada by the numbers. I don't know if you've heard this. So 1 in 5 Canadians have a mental health problem. 1 in 10 are experiencing homelessness. 6 in 10 are overweight or obese. 5 in 10 over 60 are at least 3 lifetime prescriptions. So, I've always thought we were quite a bit better than the U.S. as far as pharma goes, but I'm starting to think that it's grabbed a hold of us pretty hard here. Home ownership is at its lowest level since.
Well, I think. Wait a sec. I think it's always been bad here. Just we can't tell because it's not on the TV. This is like
Maybe.
a direct doctor marketing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So home ownership lowest level since 2011. 3 in 10 Canadians over 15 have 1 or more disabilities.
It's funny you mentioned that.
10 Canadians.
One of the a dude I grew up with was just ranting on Facebook the other day, and he's talking about the same doctors that were the doctors when I grew up in this town. They were like my mom's doctors and the doctors I went to see. And his rant was just about how all they are is fucking drug pushers that are killing his family.
Wow, dude. Oh my god. So yeah, that's crazy that those are, so that's a so that makes you think that it's been there all along if it's those doctors that are the ones that have been in there for decades. Autism has risen.
What's changed? Exactly, right?
Yeah.
What's changed? It's just been the same thing.
Autism has risen from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 50. Only 3 in 10 Canadians believe there's a God. Well, 1 in 4 working Canadians are employed by governments. That's crazy. 1 in 4 working Canadians are government employed. Actually, I think we've talked about that stat before on here. Only 1 in 3 are employed. That's even almost crazier.
Wait, what? 1 in 3? Only 1 in 3 Canadians are employed? Well, that includes kids. Yeah, well, that's, I mean,
that might be.
Could be less than that. I mean, it should be less than that because it should just be, in a perfect world, it'd just be the men working and the women at home with the kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want me to keep going on about? Okay, let me do another one for on Canada then, just while we're doing this, because there's some really good stuff here. Here is Canada today. This is another X post here from Holly Doan, blacklocks.ca. So here's Canada today. Cabinet expresses unease over report. So that's the unnamed stuff, right? That we talked about. McKinsey and Co. That's the consultants that we've been talking about for a couple months now, formerly run by a friend of finance minister, ran up $200 million in mainly sole source government contracts since 2015, amid irregularities like I knew Christia was a reason. I mean, it's funny that she's 200 million. I mean, what you've been saying it's over 20 billion every year. So what's 200 million in the grand scheme of things? But that's still a lot of sole source contracts. I guess.
I said how much?
20 billion.
20 billion. Yeah, that's the average per year.
20,000 million. So directors at 856 million green slush fund hit conflicts of interest 186 times. Says audit. In every single case when that came to the board, there was an
say that first line again.
Directors at $856 million green slush fund hit conflicts of interest 186 times. Says audit. In every single case, when
that's like once every 2 days.
Yeah. When that came to the board, there was an industry department official present. And then the next one is MPs grapple with Randy Boissonneau's story that mysterious contractor named Randy at firm in which Minister Randy held shares was not him, but a complete stranger named Randy. I do not know. Export Development Canada that managed COVID loan program are about to scope the extent of defaults on 31 billion. That's 31,000 million in unpaid debts. Full repayment in some provinces is under 1%. So yeah, there you go. Just more good news about what's happening in Canada.